All right. Welcome to the Brothers in Influence podcast, where we stand to encourage, inspire, and add value in the areas of life, leadership, and community. We're excited to be here. It is July 23rd, episode 21. I got my guy here, and hopefully our third will be joining us here shortly. We're hyped. Let's go. All right. Yes, sir. My name is Ian. I happen to go by the Purpose Coach. You can find me across all social media platforms at Ian Coaches, because that's what I do. Man, I don't know where to start. Let's see. I got a great guy sitting here next to me, shoulder to shoulder, as presented on your screen and mine. He's got some dope things cooking. I feel like he's got a fresh lineup or something, man. He's looking fresh this morning.
I'm back. We back,
Morton. He's back. Yes, sir. So
for a minute there, I thought Ian Jr. was sitting next to you. He was talking about shoulder to shoulder and the great. I'm like, then you said. Anyway, so I am your guy, the thought coach, Shawty Price. You can find me, Shawty Price, on all social media networks. Holla at your boy. Let's kick it. Let's chat. Let's get to know one another. I ain't asking for your bank account. I just would love to connect with you, and be able to build. You know, we can all help one another without always going down the road of what can I do for you in the business exchange, right? Sometimes it's good just to connect, right? The connections I've made over the last couple of years is what has led me to where I am today, right? It wasn't necessarily a business transaction, it was just making connections. I love to connect with people, you know, and be able to just network and give of myself if I can. Because I've just learned through my experiences that that's how you be successful.
Okay, dropping bars already, right off the bat. And our third is here.
Hey, fellas. Can y'all hear me?
My shoulder's a little bit more lighter now. He's in the building, y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, internet challenges, but listen, when technology is great, I had to shift, so I'm on my phone, so hey, we'll make it work.
Oh man, you looking clear and crispy too, boy. I was gonna say, like, what happened?
I see that. I see that.
Phone might be an upgrade.
Yeah, I see that.
It wasn't that funny, Shawty, though.
Yeah,
come on, dog.
Hey, bro, I can read the certificate on your wall back there, bro.
Come on, get it out your system.
I don't got nothing to say.
Brotherly love coming from these
I was
cats.
just gonna say that crispy Brother in Influence shirt you got on there. That's what I was checking out.
See,
oh, well.
Yeah, you see how he tried to clean that up real quick though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull that out.
High definition, boy.
Yeah,
Shout out to the missus for producing those precious products.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we got our the growth coach of Greater Lexington on the line, Professor, leadership locksmith. What's going on, sir?
Not much, man. Just happy to be here this morning. Yeah, man. It's hey. So real quick, shout out to just a big thank you to my man Ian. Came and supported the brother on his book signing yesterday. Where was you at, Shawty? No, I'm playing. A little bit. I'm playing. No, I'm playing.
It's funny you said that though, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh Lord. But nah, yeah, big shout out to Ian and his wife, man, for just coming down and supporting. But yeah, man, I'm still kind of, a little bit off that high from yesterday. Yeah, it was a great experience. Yeah, looking for many more of those type of experiences, right? So.
And what's the name of the book?
Who influenced you? Right? So, Three stories, 20 authors, 3 stories from each author about just those individuals in their life that have helped influence them to reach the level of success or accomplishments in their life at this particular point. Look, my man, there he is. There he is. Yeah.
Who influenced you?
Yeah, who influenced you, man? So, yeah, that's what it's about, man. Gratitude, attitude of gratitude.
Yes, sir. So any other significant events? I know we talked about this. There was some sort of book signing. You know, I think we got a speech yesterday.
Got a speech yesterday. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Just shared. You know, kind of my experience with writing this book. You know, one, like I shared in the speech, right? Like, I didn't wake up, or I didn't think, you know, when I was 10 years old, that I was going to say, hey, what were one of the things you're going to accomplish? Well, I'm going to be an author. No, that wasn't one of the things, right? I don't know if we just know those things, but like I shared, man, it was just an opportunity that came. And the thing about it is, opportunities come and go, but it's when we take action upon those opportunities that those opportunities become successes. Because even if you take an opportunity and don't get the results that you were looking for, which we will quote unquote say failure, it was still a success because it was still an opportunity for you to grow and learn something, right? To be able to translate that and pull that opportunity into something more. And I mean, to really put it a better way, you know, our boy John Maxwell, our mentor, our leader, when we think about leaders of leaders, again, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, right? So this was definitely one of those learning opportunities, more about myself, but also gave me the opportunity to say thank you to a lot of people, or at least 3 people. But that list is so much longer than 3, just to say thank you for their influence in my life to get me to where I am today.
Come on, brother.
And this is book number.
Oh, really though? That's how you feel about it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll you know.
Yeah, that's how I feel about
it. Y'all on me today.
Yeah,
people need to know.
So this
people need to know.
I co-authored 2 books, so this is the first one that's been released. Another one's in the process. You know, I will talk more to that when it comes out. But yeah, I co-authored another book, and it's in the process. But and then I'm also in the process of. Yeah, well, yeah, and that one's actually with you know, the editor and all that, and the publisher. So we're going through that process too. So the idea is to drop that pretty soon as well. So yeah, so I got 3 books coming. Well, 1 out, 2 more coming.
And since we talking about books, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh man, first of all, man, you know, I just want to say it was an amazing experience, man. To be able to walk in that space. I expected there to be some security, but my man was just right there, bro. He was right there. You know, I got to walk up to him, shake his hand, bro. It was surreal, man. You know, I told him how much his how much his story meant to me, man, and how when I saw him on that live stream, he was sharing his story, bro. He shed those tears, man. I shed a few tears myself.
I can't with this guy.
He even wrote me a personal message in there, bro. You know, he's really down to earth. You know, people who get as far as he has gotten, man. You know, they might be a little full of themselves. You know, have situations really controlled, man. But you know, he was just there in his blue button down. Man, it was beautiful.
So for everybody listening to this, man, I'm telling you, if you don't have 2 brothers like these cats right here, you missing out on life. They keep you all the way together. They keep you all the way together.
Yeah, I try not to go too extreme of a fan, but I don't know. I might have geeked out a little bit.
Yeah,
at the signing table, man.
Yeah, but it was really good. It was really good. So, it really was.
Yeah, man. It was a blessing, man. You know, a number of people came through, and you know, I don't know what you would call Mr. Matthews.
Well, Yeah, Mr. Stan Matthews. So again, he was, the CEO and president of the Matthew Business Network, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was the kind of him and Dr. Frazier, George Frazier were the curators and kind of the brainchild of this whole Who
Yeah, the other
Influenced the
two
Book,
faces on the
right?
book
Yeah,
are
that's
getting
them.
to
That's
focus.
the other two faces on the book, right? So this
Yeah.
was their brainchild. And the idea behind it, again, kind of like I shared, is they saw the vision and the opportunity just to say thank you, right? Just to say thank you to those that helped us get to where we are, because we all know we're in this journey, but it took more than just our own ability, right? It took the influence, the encouragement, the love, the push, the everything, right? You can think of to get you to whatever level of success, achievement, accomplishments that you're talking to. I had an opportunity to talk with him this morning, and he shared more about what that goal was. And again, he even shared the message last night when he spoke. It's just a message of gratitude,
Yeah.
right? Just a message of gratitude. Yeah, I mean, I think there's no greater or no better way to say thank you or to show your gratitude than to really share that message with other people. Not saying, hey, listen, I did this, the level where I'm at, the accomplishment that I did it by myself. No, reach back, right? We hear it, reach back, reach down, pull other people up, right? But also recognize those that helped you, right? Yeah. So, yeah. Again, yeah. Shout out to Stan for just being obedient and allowing that opportunity, and for others to actually share in the opportunity of this project. So,
Yeah, man. An attitude of gratitude goes a long way. When you, like the word says, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the power of our testimony. Like when we reflect on.
Quit playing.
when we reflect on what's been done for us to get us to where we are,
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about it as leaders is oftentimes I find myself, when I do practice it, I find myself compelled to pay it forward. There's no way I can pay it back, but I can pay it forward.
There's no way to pay it back.
Yeah, I think that's one of those defining characteristics of great leaders. Gratitude. Because I know we've all run across leaders that, they like, this what I do, this how it's gonna be, and but they don't show that gratitude, because regardless of where you are, you know what I'm saying, whether you're a supervisor, a manager, wherever you're at in the organization, if you're leading people, you didn't get there by yourself. And oftentimes we see people that get to those places and they forget about those other people. And in the end of the day, they're just go-getters. They're not necessarily great leaders. They're just that go-getter type that gets to where they are because by any means necessary, right? So utilizing people to get to where they want to be. So yeah, that gratitude that's one of those defining characteristics, I believe, of great leaders. Great leaders are going to show gratitude, show people that that's how you need to be successful. Remembering where you came from, remember those that have helped you along the way, right?
Man, that's an excellent distinction. A go-getter versus a leader.
Yes, sir.
And I would also, just to add to what you're saying, not only be successful, but kind of going back to some of our earlier episodes, but being significant.
Yeah.
A go-getter might be successful, but I would go so far as to say that a leader will be significant.
I'm just going to enjoy the conversation. I have nothing to add because y'all are killing the game right now. So yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, are you a go-getter or are you a leader, right? Yeah, a go-getter is going to get success, but a leader is going to have significance.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, as we go and grow, man, what does it look like, to be intentional about those opportunities to pay it forward? I think Sherrod and I had an encounter more recently with a brother who I feel like embodies that attitude. Nothing nothing that like immediately tangible, but like just through the course of conversation, is you can tell, when you meet somebody who's seeking to contribute and not just take. If that makes sense.
It does.
Like from the jump, like
Mm-hmm.
their interest. You can tell when a person's interest in you is about them versus about something bigger than them. The impact, the sort of impact that they can make by just being willing to share of their knowledge, wisdom, their insights, their experience, and that's where what I believe that we need more of in our communities. We need people, because those are our mentors, and I think for by and large for maybe a good portion of time, those people have been MIA. And I think that we need to. I think that we have an opportunity to kind of reverse course and make sure that more people have the opportunity to meet and interact with, connect with, build with people who are interested more in them than in themselves.
Yeah, I like it because came to mind when you were talking, and was sharing gratitude is for me, everything is a learning opportunity. So just being able to share, I'm sharing my experiences with other people to hopefully help them and show them. But every time you revisit and reflect on something that you've experienced, it's just like reading a book again, right? You read a book once and you got something from it. Read a book again, you're going to get something else different, right? Read a book a third time and you're going to be like, how I missed that the first and second time, right? And because the reality of it is, the experience isn't just something that you're going through, but it's also something that's in you. And it's when you start looking at it, and only times you're able to identify those things is when you take the power of reflection, the power of gratitude, and sharing your experiences, that you then be able to learn something new, different, and then growth happens, right? Again, just quoting, our mentor, John Maxwell, right? He said that, it's not experience is a great teacher, but evaluated experience, right, is even a greater teacher.
Yeah.
So it's, and I think that's even what gratitude allows you to do. It allows you to evaluate the experience from a different lens, not just from the lens of let me get and see what I can learn from it, but look at through the lens of gratitude, of humility, and understanding that, again, I am who I am today because of the choices I made, but it's also the decisions that I made to understand and say thank you to those that helped me get to where I am today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome.
And I don't want to say, like, I didn't miss your comment earlier, Shantae, but I feel like our conversation is continuing organically, and we got somebody on the platform that is asking us to talk more about being significant. So let's dig into that a little bit, fellas.
So I think, so I'm kind of use myself as an example, as when you guys brought that up with the so you have a successful leader and then you have a significant leader, right? That's kind of where it broke down to. And I was just thinking about how I've been in several positions of leadership, but now over the last 10 months, I've been in a professionally I've been in that position, because not only is that the position, I'm getting paid for it, but what makes it different is that as I was doing it organically prior, right? Because just being a leader, I was just being a leader. Now that the definition of it and the responsibility of it is there. So now I can go in here and say that, well, I'm the boss and this is what you're going to do. And guess what? Some things can get done. Some people get buck the system, right? Or being significant. When you talk about significance, I can go in and get to know people, know who they are, what they're, what I'm saying? I know they've been doing stuff for so long before I got there. But as I get to know people, now I can make those key changes that's going to make it better for all of us, right? And so that's why that's a difference that I see, because I've seen people just be that boss that, hey, we gonna get this done, and I'm gonna get the credit for this successful thing. But I tell my guys all the time, guess what? No matter what you do, whether you mess up or you do the right thing, I'm getting blamed either way. Right? So some boss say like, if you do something wrong, you getting it. But the buck stops with the leader, right? So that's one of the things I kind of thought about, just being able to reflect on my experience prior to the title, to be able to step into that role and make better choices for the team versus, I'm gonna be successful no matter what, because it's about me, not about us.
Okay.
You're on mute, Ian.
Yeah, the way we talked about it in our earlier episodes really had to deal with, if you want to be successful, do it on your own. If you want to be significant, do it together.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and there's something to be said, and with your experience, I thank you for sharing that, Shante. But it's like, how do you do that together? How do you be the boss and work with employees, but do it together? But you're responsible, right? If something goes wrong, you get the blame. But then at the same time, if something goes right, you get the credit. So what does it mean to do it together?
Yeah. So couple of things, and just so I think number one, it starts with you, right? So building yourself, right? So I think there has to be a level of authenticity, right? Being able to identify, again, your skill sets, that self-awareness, which we talked about many times before, right? And that self-leadership component. But then you also then got to turn around and treat people with respect, right? I think that's also another aspect of just showing your ability to then have an impact. So when I think about this, going from success to significance, it's not just what I get, but what I give, as far as in even the lifestyle that I demonstrate. It's about being able to, again, treat people with respect and then be genuine in what it is I do, right? People can tell when you are just doing something for your own benefit, right? Just trying to get something for yourself so it can benefit you. But being significant is about, okay, looking at the bigger picture. Like, how are we all gonna win? How are we all going to eat? How are we all going to be able to grow from this particular instance, right? And I think from there, you then also then show interest in them, right? It's not just about me, but it's about you. Like, what do you need? How can I help you grow? What are you missing? How can I help develop you and help you reach your goals, right? As a leader, it's about building them up, not about them helping me look good. One of the things I remember when I was working at FedEx up in the corporate office in Pittsburgh, we went to a meeting. I was in the service department, went to a meeting. My boss asked me to go to the meeting with him. Went to the meeting, all the big guys there, talking about this project that we're working on. After the meeting, came back, went to my cubicle, went to my desk, right? He went to his office. Then he called me into his office. Went into the office. This is what he said. I'm telling you this. I'm not making this up. This is what he said. He said, "Thank you." Right? And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Thank you. You're welcome." Like, so what did I do? He was like, "Thank you for making me look good." Right? Because he understood, like, about me, it was making sure that I had the right person to be able to speak to whatever needed to be. So he didn't take credit, right? He understood that, again, it was my expertise in that particular moment, in that conversation, that was of value. It wasn't the fact that he was the boss. I wasn't there. I didn't give him all the answers so then he could go up to that meeting and make himself look good. No, he brought me with him so he could then show, again, the significance of me on his team. That makes sense, right? So it was really being able to show respect for my value to the team. It was being genuine. It was showing the interest, but it was also, just getting recognition, right? So I think when I think about significance, those are the other components of it. I think there's a lot more to it, but I think it starts there, right? Being genuine, being authentic, but again, just making sure that we identify and realize those that are around us, right? And making sure that we're giving them the recognition that they need.
Mm-hmm.
So
I really like what you said, because I think when I think about that scenario, right? Because you know how people say, well, if he's doing all the work, why do I need him? See, sometimes this wouldn't have been a situation with you, but I'm just going to use that example. Is they would have looked at you and be like, well, he has the information, why we need this guy? And then they say, you know what, we're going to get rid of him and use you, but you're not a great leader. So then now you're back behind the 8 ball, because this person doesn't know how to lead. He knows the information, but now he has to have the information and lead. And if he don't have the person that can do what he used to do, it turns into chaos. So I think that's the other part of that significance. Like you're saying, he let you know how significant you are. So a leader hones in on the significance of the whole, not just himself, of the whole, the team as a whole, how important everybody is on the team. Because if he doesn't do that, if it's always about him, even the people that's paying him, they're going to be like, you know what, we got to get rid of this guy. Because if I have a team, it can never just be about me. I can't do everything. That's the reason I have a team, right? And so, and a lot of another part of it is matrix, right? I think as a leader, you have to be able to share with your team the matrix, what they're expected of. Why when they do something, like with my job, everything is on timing, right? So if we have a certain amount of hours to do certain things happen and it'll go longer, but there should be a valid reason why. And if we don't explain these things to our team, they're just, hey, we're doing it, or we've been doing it this long, or whatever. But matrix are important, right? Especially in business, right? Time is money at the end of the day, and especially where I'm at, where we do service, we service the customer. So the longer we're there, the more money it's costing us, So yeah, I think that's a key component too. Just that significance, that realm of significance, being able to share it with everybody.
Yeah, the attitude of significance is that we can do more together than I can do on my own, right? And one of the major responsibilities of leaders that we don't realize, or that's easy to gloss over, is making sure that whoever is working with us has what they need to succeed. Like at the beginning of the day, thinking about that situation with Sherrod, he's got the understanding, the knowledge, the expertise. I need to make sure he's got what he needs to execute, to deliver on whatever he's responsible for. And from a support perspective, I'm coaching him, making sure that he's operating from a place of his strengths, not his weaknesses. And I'm positioning him to take on responsibilities that align with those things. Right? And so the idea is, as a leader, I'm basically cultivating the potential and doing my best to maximize the potential of the team. Right? And not everybody's capable, just like you're saying, Shante, not everybody's capable of doing it. In a lot of spaces, in organizations that I've worked in, that was always a problem, because you can promote someone based on their technical expertise, and then you get caught behind the 8 ball, like you said, because they have no people leadership skills. Because when you have technical expertise, it's about you doing. But when you're a leader, it's about others doing, and you supporting. Right? And that's why when we talk about this idea of servant leadership, I'm here to serve you, to help put you in a position to succeed, maximize your potential so that you can deliver. And now, if Sherrod's boss was insecure and felt like he needed to have control, and he needed to be the gateway of information, he wouldn't have taken Sherrod to that meeting. He wouldn't have allowed Sherrod to be exposed to that table where other decision makers were, to see how brilliant he was. But that's something that a leader has to do. They have to develop themselves, be self-aware enough, like, this is not a threat. This is actually us succeeding. And so in the past, I've worked with leaders, and I've talked to them through the concept of coaching, one of the things that I really encourage them to do is to take on the attitude of we win. Like, if you win, I win, and because we're in this together. So, like, what do you need? Like, when you take on that posture, like, I'm down, you know what I'm saying? I got your back. Like, whatever you need to succeed, that's what I'm here to make sure it happens for you. So if we need to develop you in a certain area, if you feel like you're lacking, if you're feeling insecure somewhere where you need to deliver, then I'm going to focus on that and help you build the confidence you need. That's a full, and people don't realize, like, that's a full-time job. We feel like we need to be scrolling through the spreadsheets and you know, going through the numbers. No, we let the numbers guy do that, and I make sure the numbers guy feels confident in his job and know that he's doing it the right way, or you know, putting him in a position to even exceed expectations, so that I can show him off and be like, you know. And so when the credit comes to me, then what do I do with the credit? I'm saying my guy with my numbers guy. Like, if it wasn't for him, then none of this would be possible.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. And even just to even bridge what you were saying, even what Shante was bringing in with, you know, the Matrix, right? I thought you was gonna go to the movie Matrix for a minute. I was like, ooh, man, don't do that, right?
We don't got enough time.
When we think about the Matrix, right? The Matrix, and there's a lot of different matrices out there and frameworks out there, right? Especially when it comes to leadership or just whatever. But one of the things we have to understand about matrices, frameworks, different things like that, it's all about competencies, right? It's bridging the competencies, right, of what and how you need to align that with the business and the organization and the goals that you're trying to achieve. So the matrix, like, even to your point, in basically you're saying that, again, our job as leaders is to identify and make sure that on our team, we have the competencies necessary in order to achieve the organizational business goals that is required of our team. And we use the matrix and frameworks that those competencies bring to make sure that, again, I have a numbers guy, right? I have an analytical guy. I have a marketing, or whatever the case may be, whatever it is that I need on my team, I then use that matrix to make sure that I'm complete, right? Or at least I'm as complete as possible to make sure that, again, I can achieve those goals necessary within the organization, right?
Yeah.
And that's what leadership for me, from one aspect, right? When we think about, again, that's the job of the leader. To do the job, I mean, he needs to have the competencies to understand it, right? To know how to put the pieces together, right? But it's not his job to do the work, but to make sure that, again, the people that he has on his team have the knowledge, the information, the skills, and whatever it is to be successful in order to make sure that competency is being met within the organization. So
knowledge, information, the confidence.
Yep.
Yeah, all of the above. And another thing, you know, we talked about, we quoted John Maxwell several times already, but we're gonna quote him again. He says, "Be a river, not a reservoir."
Woo. Yep. I love that too. That's one of my favorite.
That's a great illustration between success and significance.
Yeah, keeping it flowing. I
and
think
the beautiful thing. Hold on, just quick. The beautiful thing about it is, Shante and Sharon, is that when you behave this way, everybody that you work with should outgrow you.
That should be the goal.
Everybody that you work with should outgrow you. And the thing about it is that most people that I meet in positions of leadership that are responsible like this, that scares them to death. They want to keep the people they got because they know what to expect. But no, man, significance is about setting them up to succeed to the point where eventually they outgrow you. They need to go on to greater, and understanding and believing that there's not a scarcity. There is somebody else that you can pour into and do the same and repeat the process.
Learn, grow, lead, right? Learn, grow, lead. So again,
and here's the thing, like, if you do it well, then what you now have, you're establishing a legacy, right? You think about sports, and you talk about how we have this great, amazing coach, and this great, amazing coach, after 20, 30 years, now his assistants are now coaching at major colleges. And their assistants are now starting to get head coaching jobs. But we can all trace it back to that one coach 50 years ago who led well.
Yep.
Now what you have is nothing but ambassadors out there recruiting for you. When somebody says, how did you get to where you are now, where I had this one leader who invested in me? It's like, I recommend, listen, I'll give you his, you go start there, and I guarantee you get to the next level.
Nope.
Yeah. I think that was important, what you said, because I think that jumps back to the successful leader versus the significant leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the successful leader is trying to keep their position at all costs, where the significant leader is, he's not focused. He's not focused on his job. He's not focused on the position. He's focused. He's focused on him as a leader and him producing more leaders, right? Because the other part of it is, some people, no matter what you teach them, they're comfortable where they are. They become better at what they're doing because of your leadership, but they're just comfortable where they are, right? And they're not going to go nowhere. They're good, right? You try to give them a position, they like, no, I want to be here. Some people are workhorses. That's all that's what they want. Yeah. It isn't that they couldn't, they're not the people that sits in the office or whatever and lead people. They like what they're doing. And often that successful leader misses that aspect too, because no one's gunning for your job if you're a significant leader. But when you're just trying to be a successful leader, you think everybody's gunning for you. Right? So I think that's that, you bringing that up, that's kind of where it falls at. So they're not, the successful leader isn't giving people everything they need because they're worried about them taking their position. And what it is deep down, they know they're not doing what they should be doing as a leader. And that's why they respond the way they respond. Whereas the significant leader, man, they're trying to give a person their job, right? Because they know the importance of, especially if it's an organization they love, they know the importance of keeping great quality leaders within the company as long as we can.
Yes, sir.
Promoting from within, right?
Yeah.
So.
Boy, y'all talking real good right now. Y'all talking real good right now, man. I love that, bro. Y'all killing it. And I just want to add to that, man. Like, again, you are building your significance as a leader when people are trying to get on your team. When they're trying to get on your team, you are on the journey and on the path to being a significant leader. Why? Because they know, like, listen, if I can get under Shate's leadership, if I can get under Ian Williams' leadership, listen, if I can get under Sherrod's leadership, listen, I can become better. There's another level I can get to, right? And that's when you understand, okay, I must be doing something good. I must be doing something different, right? And it's not about you, right? It's not just about my success, but it's just the success of others. I want you to succeed. You succeed, I win, right? That's a win for me. Check. You won, great. Check. You're winning. That's the checkbook for me. That's the check mark. That's the currency I'm looking for from a leadership perspective. If everybody around me is winning, my job.
There you go. Yeah, so that's success versus significance. Those of you that have been rocking with us and whoever put that comment on here, it doesn't say your name, so I'm sorry I can't give you a personal shout out. We appreciate you rocking with us. I hope that kind of helped connect the dots between success and significance and where we were going with the subject. But yeah, so I think that what we can say is that we all strive to be significant leaders. We, not to say we've arrived or that we're perfect, but it's a part of our growth journey. And whenever I teach about leadership, like a leadership one-on-one, and I've heard Sherrod say something similar, as he's defined leadership as impact. But I often ask, like, what sort of impact do you want to make?
Mm-hmm.
Once you become aware of the nature of leadership and influence and the fact that you have it, no matter where you are in your journey, no matter what position or title you hold, whether you hold one or not, you have influence. And so what sort of impact do you want to make? And the thing that's really powerful to me is that this translates to every area of your life. Whether you're a corporate employee, a business owner, whether you're a husband, a father, a brother, a sister, a son, etc. What sort of impact do you want to make? Because you have influence. Do you want to just be successful, or do you want to be significant?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, and I love that you brought the impact. So one of the other things that I mentioned, and it's kind of a little different thought process, but you can also influence yourself, right? And your influence on yourself is based on the influence that you've experienced from others. Mm-hmm. Because the influence of others allow you to grow and become better, which then should translate into you then identifying your influence over yourself to continue that process, right, of growth, that journey of growth. Like, I would say that, yes, I've had a lot of people influence me in my life, but I am also one of those influencers myself, because once I understood the power and the ability that I possessed, then I became even more aware of what it is I could do. And then I started walking in that and using that and growing that. And then even other people saw it and started helping me use that and helping me grow that, right? So it's just that influence. It's not just your ability to influence other people, but you also got to use that influence to influence yourself.
Come on, bro.
So you're saying, pretty much you're saying, just like who have you quoted several times during this conversation, right? John Maxwell, right? That's what you're getting at. Yeah, he's influenced you. And within that process, you realized what he was saying, some of those principles and things that you could do, or you could tap into those things. Because let's just be honest, you're not growing if you're not denying if you haven't denied some stuff, your capability, right?
Yep.
Because to deny it, that's the opportunity you have to overcome it, right? So I just use myself as an example. Me being previously being this shy, introverted guy, I didn't think there was much of anything I could do. But after I made a decision that I could be better, that I could do greater things, I still fought and struggled with the things I was reading, like whether it was a Maxwell book or even reading the Bible, right? That I can't do that. That can't be me. God used them. You can't use me. Things like that. But I was committed and I was determined. So and then meeting great men, and I had to go back to being in prison, meeting great men in prison, being able to influence me, going back to what you said, Sherrod, men that were able to influence me, and some of those men still influence me today. I'm still in contact with them, and letting me know that, guess what, you can be better than you were. You can be a great man of God. You can be a leader, right? Even you guys, we do, same thing. You guys have, I'll say some stuff and you like, and Ian, get a jump on, bro. Come on, man. You got this, or you got this. Sherrod, same thing. You got it, bro, man. You can do this. And oftentimes, what do I say? I needed that, bro. I needed that. I just was feeling this type of way. And that's a consistent thing. It gets easier because guess what? I'm a different person, right? I'm in that leadership mode. I'm in that growth mode. So it gets easier, but we still have those doubts, right? We still have those doubts. And it's great to have those great people around you, great men or great women or great mentors, whoever they may be around you, to keep you encouraged on your journey.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like I always appreciate when you bring in your story, right? Because I mean, if anybody doesn't know anything about anybody on here, we know your story, brother, because you're always connecting the dots with that. And the one thing I wanna just add to that is that, again, we always think that influence has to come from a specific place, right? We think that influence comes from anywhere, and it usually comes from the unlikely sources or the unlikely place, right? And everything I love about your story, bro, is that it all started, or a lot of your influence came from when you had to go to prison, right? And I think a lot of times, we all have those pivotal moments, those big situations, those big failures, or whatever we want to call them, that are literally the catalyst or the catapult that puts us and positions us or pushes us into, let's even be honest, puts us in front of great men, great women, great people, right? That then have a significant influence and position in our life. And I mean, every time you bring up your story, bro, I always get inspired because it's so impactful, so impactful.
Yeah, I second that, bro. Thank you for sharing. And I think what you guys are kind of talking to is the idea of self-leadership, right? Leading yourself first. Mm-hmm. Right? That's a major staple of the Brothers of Influence, period. Not just the podcast, but the relationships that we have among us three, our community, online, etc. Like self-leadership. You got to lead yourself first. You got to be able to see value in yourself in order to add value to yourself, right? And so when you Shante was sharing how he would talk to himself, I think that's kind of an illustration of that principle, right? You may or may not have seen value in yourself, and I know when I catch you doing it, or if I caught you doing it, I've spoken to it. I know it's because I've also felt that way about myself at times. Where I didn't think I was smart enough or I could do enough. And I had to kind of go through a process where I had to reevaluate what I was taught about, like things like intelligence, just stuff, because I think at an early age you get a sense of, oh, well, either I'm smart or I'm not. That kid's smart. I'm not as smart as that kid, or that kid gets the good grades. I don't get the good grades. We internalize that stuff, right? It's a part of our society that in our culture that everything is evaluated based on performance and competition.
Competition, yes, sir.
And it's ingrained in our education from a young age, and it only continues into adulthood. But what do we find, Shante, as we've grown older, that our intelligence is based on our ability and our willingness to learn. Yep. And at this stage of the game, I'm well past, K through 12, but I'm able to tackle more than I ever have before now, just for the simple fact is because I believe I can learn. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I have to look because I've taken classes, courses, like trying to get to working towards where I want to be in my career, in my business. I have to sit back and say, okay, this might be a little difficult, but you know what? I can learn it.
Yeah. I can learn it.
Whereas before, what would I have said? What would we have said, Shante?
I can't. I ain't even gonna try.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it all goes back to somebody making us believe that our level of intelligence just didn't get to, meet the standard or get or where it was for us to pursue and achieve what we feel like we are called to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting. Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, because when I said I can't, right, and I didn't, even though I'm used to hearing, people say they don't say you can't, but until I had my daughter, I really saw the importance of it, because you're what people don't realize with our minds is that our minds are going to play to reality. And what I mean by reality is when I say I can't, even though in reality, if you haven't tried, that isn't the truth, your mind is going to play to that. Because all your mind knows is that you situated within yourself that that's an impossibility. And so when I began to tell my daughter to say, if she be saying she can't, say, well, baby, it isn't that you can't, you don't know how. Yeah. So before you say you can't, just either say I need you to help me, or I'm starting a culture like that because that's they once they learn that word, that's the go-to. And the reality is it's not true. Because if you haven't if you haven't even attempted, I use the example. Somebody say, I try. Same situation. Well, I tell people try to pick up a pencil. There's no try. You either do it or you don't. There's people that don't have hands that picks up stuff. So you know what I'm saying? So, but it's just reality. And
that's real.
Going back to the mind thing, that's people just have to really understand that your mind is going to play to the reality you feed it. Even if you say you can't walk down some stairs and just got done walking down some stairs, eventually you're going to feel like you can't walk down the stairs. It's just going to manifest in your life.
Yeah, what I love about that example that you just gave, bro, say it again, your reality is going to
your mind is going to play to the reality you feed it.
Your mind is going to play to the reality you feed it.
Yeah.
Right. So here's the thing, like what I love about it is that implies some level of control, right? You have control over what you feed your mind.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. The reckoning comes because when we didn't have control over what we were being fed, those stuff continue to play and replay in our minds and in our hearts as we grow and get older, because of things that were set in motion, because the pictures that were painted when we were children. And so, part of my journey and part of our journeys, I believe, is like evaluating. And it's like I'm still very much on that journey. Like what I was taught, like, yeah, I can see why I've always not believed in myself or not believed that I could, because I was told I couldn't before I had control over what I was being fed. And so we had to flip the script, and then we have control. We have to make sure that what's coming at that point is what we should be eating and not what we shouldn't.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Y'all. Hey, listen. What you said was so powerful, Sate. Like, one now I have to check how I'm making sure that I'm speaking to my daughters, right? Making sure. Now, I'm not saying that I wasn't speaking that, but you gave me definitely some specifics, right? So, if they say they can, I'm going to tell them to go learn it, right? Because the reality of it is there's really nothing we can't do if we learn how to do it. Now, at that particular point, you just have to make the decision and the choice, the value aspect of what it is that you're learning, and does it work and align with what you need to know in order for what you're trying to do.
Right.
Because I don't have to know everything, but I should be able to know someone who has the knowledge and information. So if I have a question, then I can go ask them in order for me to continue doing whatever it is I'm trying to do, right? So this will be the last thing I share, just to give an illustration. Again, I've used it before, Think and Grow Rich. The book is great. I've read it 1,001 times, but there's always that part in there about Henry Ford, right? And he always talked about in that situation where he was on trial and they were talking like, okay, well, how do you have all this information? Why are you able to do what you need to do? He simply said, listen, if I have a question, I have 6 buttons on my desk. I don't have to know the information, but when I have a question, I just push the button and the person who has the answer comes and gives me the information that I need, right? Brilliant, right? Brilliant. I don't have to learn everything, but I do need to learn what I need to know, right? So I can then turn around and do what I need to do, right? And then lastly, man, Ian, you brought up a great point of, in our society, we talk about, or it's always, we're always in competition, right? To do something. And what came to mind when you were talking to it was, let's quit competing and let's start collaborating, right? Stop competing and start collaborating, right? Yeah, collaboration is currency. It really is, right? It really is. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is the Brothers in Influence podcast. We stand to encourage, inspire, and add value in the areas of life, leadership, and community. We hope you got some value out of the time we spent together today as we discussed the topic of going from success to significance. It might have sounded like we scripted that. We didn't script that one. That one just came up naturally. These are the conversations that we have amongst ourselves. And really, oftentimes what I do is I walk away from these discussions and I really kind of chew on them for the week. Makes me think about how I interact with my son. Makes me think about how I do business. And so we hope that we can plant similar seeds for you as you are navigating your own journeys. And we hope to encourage you towards personal growth and self-leadership and really just, accomplishing something more than you could accomplish on your own. So we invite you to do that with us because I know that we can do more together than we can do as individuals. So any final words, fellas?
I am your man, thought coach, Shante Price. Sherrod actually took my last line from Think Go Rich, so I don't got to say nothing. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. The thought coach, the purpose coach, yeah. So I'm Sherrod Ledet, your leadership locksmith, the professor, the growth coach of Greater Lexington. Man, I grow to today's leaders for tomorrow's business, moving them from their now situation to their next opportunity. There's always an opportunity, and we're always looking for that next opportunity. Just keep looking for it, right? Keep looking for it and keep doing what you need to do in order to grow into that next opportunity, because where you are now isn't where you're going to end up, right? There's more for us out there. So just continue to grow, continue to learn, and then lead.
Yes, sir. All right, we appreciate y'all. This is Ian, your purpose coach, at Ian Coaches across all social media, because that's what I do. We are out. Peace.